Hi guys, today I'm doing some cabling in the van, pre-wiring before I finish off the insulation. I've got this 35mm squared cable, I'll show you close up in a minute. I need to replace that cable. That cable isn't rated enough amps, that's only 25mm squared I believe, which is like 170 amps approximately. Don't quote me on it, I'm not exactly sure on the size of that cable. That's already running through to the, it'll run through to the engine battery. It goes right through the bulkhead at the moment, but I need to replace it with this one. This is much thicker and can take the ampage that my CTEK units need to be able to run the leisure battery and everything. So I've got to change that, which means I'm going to be taking this double seat out again, and it's on a swivel. So I'm going to take the whole thing out and I'm going to put it in the shed for a little while. It's first day of lockdown. Do you know, the last 3 days I haven't made any videos. It's been busier in the last 3 days preparing for this lockdown and helping people than I've ever been. So I haven't been able to make any videos until today. So today is a little bit of insulation, a little bit of wiring and getting rid of this seat. No one's going to be in this van apart from me for the next 28 days. So my challenge is to see how much I can actually get done during lockdown on this van conversion. So this cable, as I say, is 35mm squared. I need it to be that thickness because it's a 5 meter run. Might be just under. But because the vehicle battery isn't under the driver's seat like I originally thought, I do need the thicker cable. It's quite a decent thick cable and it is a 5 meter run. And it needs to be that thick because of the length of the run. There's all the electrical bits. I've been playing around sorting out all those bits there. Let me show you a close-up of some of the stuff I've got. So in this box is various lighting switches, spotlights, the puck type lights that will fit in the ceiling, a hole cutter, etc. Then I've got all my cables and wiring in here. Various other cabling and little bits and bobs. Got a new fuse box, much larger one. I've still got the old one I had in my previous van. I've still got that one, which I'll use as well somewhere else because I'm going to be doing a run. All the cabling out my old van. And oh yeah, they're the glands to put the solar through the roof, various other bits. So loads of things to be getting on with, just having a good sort out of all that so it's all ready. This had been adjusted. This was for the interior light in the back of the van by the person that owned the van before me, and he had various things running off it. I've made sure all the wires are neatly insulated with tape. Cord that up, and once I've put insulation on the underside of the van roof, I will tuck that out of the way and cable tie it out of the way. I said in one of my comments the other day that I wasn't overly impressed with this Neuco insulation that I put in everywhere. Won't hurt, I've had it for months. Cost about 29 quid I think to do most of the van, with the exception it doesn't do the sliding door and there wasn't enough for the ceilings or the driver or passenger doors. But anyway, plenty of that in. What I've now bought is a 15 meter roll, 1 meter width of 6mm foam, and I've got it up here. First part is in on the ceiling. Let me give you a better angle. There you can see it on the ceiling, not quite finished. Decided to put it in that way. Use the roller to get it nice and tight to the ribs. There are going to be some holes in the ceiling, but it won't hurt to do them afterwards. So I'm going to get all that, the rest of that ceiling done, 3 more sections. It's very similar stuff to this, except this was between 10 and 12 mil thick, whereas this up on the ceiling is only 5 or 6 mil thick. But it's adequate. There'll still be a gap between here across of about 1 inch. And that inch will have the normal type insulation, what's it called, like the shredded plastic bottle stuff. I've bought various different thicknesses, and one roll is I think 30mm thick or something like that, so it won't compress much when the lining's back on, so it'll just give it a double insulation, and it already gives that nice firm and obviously much warmer. I'm not bothered it's got the silver foil on, to be honest. That doesn't bother me. I've got that massive roll of it if I needed it. What I'm more interested in is the takes away from that cold metal than if it was just plastic bottle insulation down to my roof lining. I don't think that would be adequate, so I'm quite happy to have this first, then the insulation, and then my roof lining. It's not too hard to do. It does take a while, and it's obviously you're on your knees and reaching up, so it's a little bit tricky. Doesn't take too long, but the problem is it's going to get dark in about 45 minutes to an hour, so I need to move on and get some other things done. Okay, so going back to the electrics, when I installed my reversing camera, I tapped into one of the cables. I worked out from the lights which cables were which, so that when the reverse light comes on, the reversing camera comes on, and I also tapped into the brown cable, which was the neutral. I've actually since I've taken those off, there is an earthing point, so I shall make use of that for earthing other things that go in this corner of the van. So as I said before, behind the driver's seat I'm going to have a unit. At the bottom of that unit will be my leisure batteries and CTEK power management system. Let's get a better view of that. So that's all going to be down there, the fuse box. But also I'm going to have some runs of cable. I'm going to run a medium thick cable down to that corner of the van, because I'm going to have a little unit cupboard space in that corner, and that's going to also have some electrics in it. So I'm going to run a thick cable down to that with another little fuse box on the end, and then a few little switches or packs that I put into that, 12-volt sockets or whatever I put into that, can all run off that fuse box without me having to run half a dozen tiny little thin cables all the way through the van. I'm also going to run a cable up, over and down. Again, this will be a fairly medium thickness cable. Might even use that red cable I'm about to pull out from the engine bay. That'll run down to that corner, and again into a little fuse box, and from there I plan on running my TV, Fire Stick, and so therefore I will need a 12-volt socket, my inverter, a USB socket, and maybe one or two other switches might go there, but it's best to have it all the cable put in advance. So that's the idea for the electrics. It's just a case of getting that done now. Now, personally, I don't think this is really a lockdown in England as it is. It's more of a curfew. I live alone in this house that I'm currently in, a brilliant deal, and you know, it's the precursor to van life, but I'm allowed to then create a support bubble, which I will do. I can go and join onto another household, so if this lockdown does last much longer than the 2nd of December, as has previously been announced, then I can go and join someone else, perhaps for Christmas or whatever. However, it's more of a curfew. This is like a curfew. Everybody else I know is at work. They've got, you know, shift work or working dentists and places like that. So they'll all be going to work. This isn't like the previous lockdown. This is weird. No one likes the word curfew, so lockdown is, although harsh, it's I think less disruptive. So half the roof's done. My self-drilling screws have arrived, so I'm just going to finish off the floor, play around with that. Finally in with all the screws. Quite a few in that middle section, and that's just to spread the weight because of the boarding I'm using underneath. This area here is double and treble screwed. and that's because sheer weight of stepping in and out of the van, one-footed, standing up, etc., albeit crouching. The rest is just spaced neatly around this side of the van. Right, time for some flooring to go down. LVT, luxury vinyl tile click, that I acquired, and its underlay. Don't even know if the underlay is the right way up. It's a mega thin stuff, silver on one side, black on the other. I'll have to check on YouTube to see what the score is. But that's just a test anyway, just to see how well it clicks together, see how well it goes. You're supposed to leave an expansion gap round for this, but if I fit it, won't really be able to do much of that, but we'll see. Under this camera it's actually looking brownish in colour, but it is a grey. It's a grey oak effect, and it's extremely hard wearing stuff, and you drop something on it, it's far more durable than vinyl, or lino as we often call it. So this is probably what I'm going to use if in the future I need to get a different flooring. I can acquire that quite easily. So first day of lockdown, and I haven't really done a lot again. I've had a little play around with the flooring then, I've played around with some cabling. I've finished the ply line flooring, and I've half done the roof silver foam insulation. So lots of little bits today, nothing really achieved, but today is first day of lockdown, and as I said, my plan is to do 28 videos in 28 days and see how far I can get this van built. So I do appreciate you guys watching, and if you do want to see the rest of this, check out the playlist or subscribe. Thanks very much.